Hi, congratulations on your first band fill. I really wanted to stop in and just, respond to your video. You had a couple of questions, and I just wanted to tell you that I think that your experience, short of the actual fill, is pretty typical of what happens to most people's first experience with a fill. It's pretty underwhelming and anticlimactic, and dare I say even a little frustrating. I've often said I never got good restriction until my third or fourth fill, so that seems to be about the typical time duration for a lot of people. After their third and fourth fills, they start feeling good restriction for a lot longer. There were just a couple of things I was going to offer to you from my own personal experience. It's not advice. I don't do that. I'll just share. But first of all, after that third or fourth fill, when I started feeling good restriction for extended periods of time, I started noticing, and my sister has also noticed the same thing. I would go for my fill, and then my surgeon wants you to go 2 days of liquids after your fill. So then after those 2 days, you can go back to eating. I was noticing, and my sister was noticing too, that I didn't really feel any more restriction for having just had a fill. And I didn't feel any less than before I'd had the fill, but I wasn't feeling like I had just had a fill, and it was really weird. But I'll tell you, within about 7 or 10 days, we started feeling the restriction. There's this delayed restriction that happens with some people. I'm not sure what makes it so. There are a couple of things that I do know from just monitoring what my last year has been like. One is water. Hydration. If I am dehydrated, I am loose. If I am good and hydrated, my restriction is much better. And that makes sense. It's logical. So make sure that you are not getting dehydrated also as you start to go into this phase of the band where you're going to start having fills and things. You will find that it works better if you stay hydrated. The other important time, other than all the time to remain hydrated, is I really pump a lot of fluid the day before and the morning of a fill. It makes a huge difference in how the fill goes, so long as you have a good tech. When I have had a fill, and I have gone in for a fill before when I have been slightly dehydrated, had not been good about making sure I had taken in enough fluid, and it was slightly more uncomfortable, and it was harder to access the port. And I also have I don't know, apparently I'm supposed to be happy when I'm 80. I've got some great thick, nice, firm skin, which loosely translated means harder to get the big needle through. And I too deal with the big needles because I have the scar tissue, because my port is tipped, and because I have this great skin that I'm going to love when I'm 80. So I do find, though, that really pumping up those fluids and being really good and hydrated when I go in for a fill makes a world of difference in the experience of actually getting the fill. So I hope that's helpful to you in some way, and I hope that you're feeling, maybe in the next coming days and stuff, you'll start to feel maybe some of that delayed restriction or whatnot. Certainly by your next fill or two, you'll start to feel some really good, longer lasting restriction. So I wish you much luck with that, and it will come for you. It eventually comes for everybody. It really is a typical kind of first experience with the fill. I don't think anybody really gets a very good restriction off of their first fill. for any length of time. Though I've heard of some people, you were talking about having even some restriction to a certain degree just from having had the surgery, and I have heard of some people never even needing a fill, that simply having the band cinched them off just enough to give them just the right amount of restriction that they needed, which seems crazy to me. I had hoped for it. I wanted to be one of those people so bad, but it wasn't meant to be. So I hope that you are having a really fantastic day, and stay positive and keep looking forward. It's all good. Everything's happening the way that it should, and look forward to hearing from you again soon. Bye.